Yo, what's up guys? You got PokeaimMD here with another competitive Pokemon Sun and Moon moveset video guide how to use on Primarina. Now Primarina is the water type starter that we have that is also sharing the fairy type, so that's amazing for Pokemon. I think water fairy is amazing coverage. It gives it an immunity to dragon. It's only weak to 3 types: poison, electric, and grass. And it resists some very key types. Just to name 2 off the top of my head, would be dark and fighting. So those are 2 very common types that being water and fairy allows it to resist. Obviously fire as well, and bug on top of that, and water itself, and ice as well. But the 2 main ones I think that's really cool, water and fairy, is that it resists fighting and it resists dark. Now it has very high special attack stat at base 126 and a really high base special defense stat at 116. Defense below average at 74, speed 60. But you know, what do we've come to expect, you know, slow speed mons with Sun and Moon, and then average HP at 80. So with that high special attack set, I think it's best, and the first set that we're going to be talking about is the Choice Spec set. Now, I actually have 2 Choice Spec sets. The first one is the bulky Choice Spec set. This one allows it to outspeed Pokemon such as Skarmory, and this set runs Hydro Pump, Moonblast, Psychic, and HP Fire. Hydro Pump is your main form of water stab. It hits incredibly hard off of a base 126 special attack stat. That's 386 special attack. It hits ridiculously hard. Moonblast is your fairy stab, again allowing you to nab dragon types, fighting types like that. Now Psychic is the next move. People might say, well, what about Ice Beam that allows you to hit grass types? Well, the thing is, Moonblast is going to be hitting those grass types hard anyway, and Psychic allows you to hit a lot of key Pokemon such as Mega Venusaur, Toxapex, and Amoonguss for a 3-hit KO. I mean, excuse me, a 2-hit KO. I'll actually show you the calc right now on Max Spadef Venusaur. This doesn't exist. Nobody runs Max Spadef Mega Venusaur, but this is Choice Spec Psychic versus Max Spadef Mega Venusaur. It does 55 to 65%. Max Spadef Mega Venusaur with a calm nature, 55 to 65%. So it's easily 2-hit KOing that, easily 2-hit KOing any Venusaur running max HP easily. Doing 74 to 87% to max HP Venusaur. Easily 2-hit KOing Amoonguss, easily 2-hit KOing Toxapex. And basically there's no point in really running Ice Beam because your Moonblast deals with the grass types anyway, and it also deals with the dragon types that Ice Beam would also hit. And then Hydro Pump deals with the ground types that Ice Beam would hit as well as the flying types. I mean, Moonblast and Hydro Pump is generally enough. And the last move that we have is Hidden Power Fire. This allows you to 2-hit KO Ferrothorn, smack Scizor, hit Skarmory. Basically, HP Fire means that the Pokemon such as Ferrothorn that would otherwise resist your stab and take your attacks is not going to be able to. It will be 2-hit KO by that. So the EV Spread is just max special attack, just to maximize the damage that Primarina can do. 88 speed, allowing it to outspeed Skarmory. That way you can 2-hit KO it with Hydro Pump. And then the rest was just dumped into HP to bulk up, or to give you more overall bulk. Allows you to take some special hits like Psychic from Tapu Lele and whatnot. So next up we have the Fast Specs. Now Fast Specs is in quotations, but basically it's max speed at a neutral nature, and what this allows you to do is outspeed Pokemon such as Defensive Rotom and Defensive Landorus, min speed Defensive Landorus, and it's the exact same set except the last move is changed up to Energy Ball. The reason the last move is Energy Ball now is because with modest specs you can knock out Rotom most of the time. In fact, at level 100, Energy Ball from a modest Primarina, which you do outspeed max speed Rotom, does 98% minimum, and if you're playing at level 50, let's say on Wi-Fi or something, you do 100% minimum to Rotom with Energy Ball, which is why Energy Ball is written there. It also smacks Manaphy, but Psychic is still there, obviously being able to smack Venusaur for the 2-hit KO, Amoonguss for the 2-hit KO, and Toxapex for the 2-hit KO. Next moveset we have is the Z-Move moveset. Now, this move takes advantage of the fact that Primarina does have Primarina Z, which allows it to turn Sparkling Araya into Oceanic Operata, and this is a extremely strong attack. The only downside is, though, you have to run Sparkling Araya, which I'm not really the biggest fan of. Yeah, it is 90 base power, but so is Surf, and this thing has a downside where if your opponent is burnt, it cures them. So that's not really too good for you, especially if you burnt your opponent on purpose with Will-O-Wisp, or even by accident with Scald and you wanted that burn. But basically, it's Hydro Pump, Moonblast, Psychic, same exact EV spread, but this allows you to have that really, really, really strong one-time move, the Z move that Primarina does have, and it also just allows you to mix up your moves as well. Alternatively, you can also get rid of the Z move and run like an Expert Belt, and maybe run HP Fire again. That could also work again. You can run Surf as well, but this is just if you want to use Primarina's Z move. I believe it's, what is it, 190 base power without stab, if I'm not mistaken. It's something like that. It's the strongest of the Z moves from the starters. And again, Hydro Pump, Moonblast, and Psychic, you already know what they do. They both hit incredibly hard, even without a Specs boost. But if you do want to run Life Orb on this, you can get rid of the Z move, and you can run Hidden Power Fire again. You can run Expert Belt. You can run Energy Ball if you want to. Next up, we have Sub-Toxic. Now, Primarina does have pretty decent special defense, allowing it to tank hits from Toxic packs, allowing it to tank hits from Tapu Fini. So what you can run is actually a Sub-Toxic set. The EV spread was still remaining the same, being able to outspeed Skarmory. I think that's pretty useful, especially when you're running Scald. The reason you have Scald and Toxic is because Scald can still burn Pokemon such as Skarmory and Celesteela, allowing you to wear them down, making their Heavy Slam do less if you're in Celesteela's case. Sub allows you to avoid status as well as Leech Seed from Celesteela. Toxic allows you to wear down Pokemon such as Tapu Fini. Yes, in Misty terrain, you do not Toxic it, you can't status it. However, that only lasts for a set amount of turns, and your Moonblast, because you are max special attack, is going to be doing damage, also having the chance to drop that special attack stat on your opponent. And Sub just allows you to deal with Pokemon that might want to come in on this. You can definitely sub up versus Pokemon like Marowak. They'll definitely switch out. Versus you, if America's on the field, you send out Primarina, you can go for Sub. They'll more than likely switch out. You get up a nice Sub. Leftovers recovery just to start gaining back, but you want to run max special attack investment, I feel, simply because it allows you to deal the most damage. And again, you might be saying, well, isn't Scald plus Toxic detrimental? I just mentioned that being able to burn Skarmory, being able to burn Celesteela, canceling out their leftovers, or if they're running Shed Shell, not even having leftovers, and just wearing them down turn per turn, I think is worth running Scald plus Toxic. Alternatively, you could run Surf if you don't want to miss. You could run Sparkling Araya if you really hate Scald and you just, want to heal their burns. But yeah, the idea of this set is wear down your opponent, sub up on Pokemon such as Tapu Fini, Moonblast them, Scald, Celesteela, Scald, Skarmory, burn them, sub up on them, and just wear them down repeatedly with Scald, Moonblast, respectively. I do believe its best set is Bulky Specs or Fast Specs. I think Bulky Specs is actually the one that I've had the most success with when laddering, but you can definitely run a Sub-Toxic Scald set. It also has Encore, but I don't think it really has a place on this set. I think you want Moonblast and Scald as well as Toxic. So Primarina also has access to Encore. Now, I do want to talk about its secondary ability that's not released, Liquid Voice. Liquid Voice turns sound moves into water-type attacks. Its sound moves into water-type attacks, and Primarina does have access to Hyper Voice. Now, in the other options, I actually mentioned Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice is a 90 base power move, which becomes a water-type attack. On physical attack, on like single battles, I don't think Hyper Voice is really worth it. If anything, you could just run Surf and do the exact same thing. But in doubles, Hyper Voice will be able to hit both opponents, and it does have access also to Dazzling Gleam. So if you're trying to use Primarina in doubles and that's released, I definitely encourage you to run something with Hyper Voice and Dazzling Gleam on Primarina, or maybe Protect. And last move could be up to you. But that allows you to hit both of your opponents with Hyper Voice as well as with Dazzling Gleam. So that's something you can run. Though on the other sets, I don't know. You can always run Surf over that, and I mean, it goes through Sub, so that's something. You could also run that. That's also something you could run, but I like the idea of being in Torrent and smacking my opponent with extremely powerful Hydro Pumps. And next up, we have pretty much the other options. It does have access to Encore, as I did mention. Unfortunately, this Pokemon does not have Calm Mind, but it does have Work Up. It does hit incredibly hard, and it does have the special defensive bulk to actually get up a workup when your opponent switches out. But why run that when you can run Specs? Perish Song is also something in its arsenal if you want to trap. It also has pretty much access to, it can run an Assault Vest as well, and Sing too if you want to, 55% to put your opponent to sleep. Those are all just options that this Pokemon can run, and the fact that it also functions very well with an Assault Vest, since it does have really high special defense, allowing it to tank hits better. But overall, Primarina is a really cool Pokemon. I think the best way to use it is just offensively, all out attacking. Specs, like I said, is the one that I've had the best success with. Unfortunately, it doesn't learn Whirlpool. That'd be really cool if like a Paris trapping set, but it does not learn Whirlpool. But outside of that, I think Bulky Specs and Specs are its best sets. And anyway, thank you for watching. If you guys enjoy, feel free to leave a like. You can check out my previous moveset videos. The links are down below. And yeah, follow me on Twitch and Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, friends.